Google's dead. SEO's dead. SEO's been dead more times than probably anything, right? It's died 25 times over the last 20 years, according to people. Even if someone's never ranked on page 1 in Google, we're seeing that if you make a couple of tweaks I'm going to show you guys today, you can actually get mentioned in GPTs. Most of the time, Google and GPT, they trust what other people say about you more than what you say about yourself.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Jack Bosch Show, where we talk about all things real estate, finance, and entrepreneurship. And today we're going to dive into AI and the new SEO through AI with my good friend Trevor Mauch, from the CEO and founder of Carrot.com. Many of you know Carrot.com as a lead generation website, a place where you can have your own lead generation website. You get lots of real estate leads, particularly in the real estate space, but also in other industries. Well, obviously, the market is changing a little bit with ChatGPT, and all the GPTs are basically taking over from the general search engines. So we're going to dive into exactly what the implications of this, how you can be on the winning side of this. So this is highly relevant for you to listen to. And with that said, welcome to the show, Trevor. How are you doing today?
Jack, doing awesome, man. I always love connecting with you. We saw each other not too long ago out in Tampa, and good to see you here virtually.
Yeah, that's it's always great to see you. And we had a lot of fun there. So, yes, so let's dive right into it. By the way, anyone, if you want to listen to this, what does Carrot do and things like that, you can go into a deep dive in prior episodes. So you simply put up my podcast and just search for Trevor Mauch or Jack Bosch Show and Trevor Mauch, and you'll find the old episodes, because this, I think, is your third time being on the show. We always talk about really cool stuff, and I can't wait to dive into that. But let's, for anyone that is a little lazy, tell us a little bit first, what does Carrot do in the first place, and why is SEO and what ChatGPT and what the GPTs that right now do so important for you to adjust to for the future of your company?
Yes, I'll start with the second one first, Jack. So one thing that we've been doing for over a decade now is just helping people get in front of the most motivated leads, right? And so our second or third biggest lead source, depending on the quarter, is actually not lead source, lead type is land. And so it's a lot of people that are wanting to sell land, bare land, raw land. A lot of people are wanting to buy land. And so land is an amazing thing that people are going to the internet to go, hey, I've got this thing. How do I solve this problem? How motivated house sellers, we get close to 1 million inbound leads a year. Just a highly motivated house seller that's coming in and saying, hey, I've got this property, I need to sell it. So the reason to listen is the most motivated leads tend to be the ones who are seeking out a solution to their problem. And those most motivated ones oftentimes go online, right? They're researching it. So what we find, and I think everybody found over the years, over the last year and a half, is people started using ChatGPT for things. Then we started to see those Google AI overviews pop over the top of a lot of searches. And I was hearing stuff all over the place, Jack, where people are saying, oh my gosh, Google's dead, SEO's dead. SEO's been dead more times than probably anything, right? It's died 25 times over the last 20 years, according to people. All that's changing is how people are finding their answers in search. They're now using these AI tools. And so on the Carrot side, we have this breadth of information and data that we'll bring in front of your audience here and let them kind of learn on what tweaks they can make to be mentioned in the AI search tools more effectively. But we have thousands and thousands of customers, 10,000 plus websites in this space, millions of leads, and we're going to be bringing that data to show what are our most successful clients doing to actually get leads from ChatGPT, from Google AI overviews, from Perplexity. And we can kind of dive into the high level ones in here.
All right, let's do it. So you offer websites to people that want to have lead generation. And you basically, in the past, at least, you have been, but like anyone can set up a website, but I always call a website like it's like that little store in the dark back alley that might have the most amazing product inside of it, but you'll never find it. And so the person that has that little store really can only do two things to succeed there. They can either go and spend a fortune on advertising so that when somebody searches for it, it pops up, or the better way would be putting out a lot of material and a lot of content and a lot of things that when people search for anything related to that, this comes up
Mm.
as an automatic
Yep.
search result, and then like guides them and leads them to that website, to that little
Yep.
store, without actually having to spend all that money on advertising. Now, that was
Yep.
just right now a very generic definition of SEO. And you guys
Yeah.
have been a master, because most people don't know how to do that, including me. I'm not good at SEO. We've never traditionally been good at SEO, and you are the master of SEO. So now
Mm.
with all these ChatGPT and those kind of large language models coming in your way, how do you adjust?
Yeah.
What? Let's jump right into what somebody needs
Yeah.
to do to adjust.
Am I able to show some pictures and stuff? Can I share my screen, Jack, or
I think so.
does that work?
We're
Okay, cool.
using Riverside here to record this. I believe you can.
Boom.
There we go.
I got it. Sweet. So what I'm showing y'all. So if you're listening to the audio version of this on the podcast, head over to Jack's YouTube channel. I'm showing some things. They're gonna be crazy useful when we're going through this. So what we're looking at, Jack, is this. So I pulled this screenshot up in the back end of one of our clients' websites. He does mostly houses, but he also does land. And this is basically the lead, the lead intake area, the lead manager in the back end of Carrot. And so as a part of it, it shows lead sources. And you can see at the top, there's one that's a Google search that came through a couple of days ago. One right below that, the same day, came from ChatGPT. Below that, the same day, Google search. A day before, Google search. Handful of days before, GPT, Google search. And this is what we're really looking for, right? It's like, I call it evergreen marketing. It's how do we get in front of the prospects wherever they're searching, the most motivated people, and then deliver that trustworthy picture for them so they want to work with you, and you get leads like that. And what we've been finding and discovering is, there are people saying, well, shoot, is SEO dead? SEO is not dead. And what I'm just going to show on the screen here is the basics of how SEO has changed. So we'll kind of talk about how SEO has changed first, Jack, that principle. Then we'll dive into tactics. So I'm going to give people 2-3 things you can go do today. They're going to give yourself a better chance to rank well in GPT, in Google AI overviews. So the way that Google search used to work was, it was pretty much Google, YouTube, Bing. They were the primary search engines. Now there's DuckDuckGo and things like that, but they weren't really used a lot. And Google was the biggest, YouTube's the second, Bing was the third. This past year and a half or so, that's where you've had the large language models, or on my picture here, it says LLMs. And the biggest large language model that people are now going to search, of course, is GPT. The second biggest one is Perplexity, as far as when people are actually going to try to find answers. And so what we've been doing is going, well, number one, Google's not going away, right? It's the 800-pound gorilla. Even though people were saying people are going to stop using Google and using GPT, what we actually discovered, Jack, is the data shows that actually Google searches are going up. So if people are saying, well, should I even optimize for Google anymore? Because ChatGPT is here, Google searches have almost doubled over the past 12 months, where they were getting about 8.5 billion searches per day, which is a lot of searches. Now Google's getting upwards of almost 14 billion searches a day. That's in just over a 12-month period that searches almost doubled. So the question is why, because this is important to knowing how to rank well in Google and how to rank well in AI search engines, is why are people going to Google more now? Well, they're going to Google more now because of the way that the search engines are displaying, right? Because now when someone goes to Google, they're going to type a search and they're going to see something like what I'm showing on the screen, and I'm going to read it out. But on the screen, let's say I went to Google and typed up "sell my house fast, Dayton, Ohio," right? Something that a person may search. Well, we're starting to see in a lot of these markets that AI overview take over the whole top of a Google search now. And that's very similar to what GPT is doing, right? It's giving you a narrative, basically. Hey, here's a bunch of stuff that's going to talk about how you can solve your problem. But here's a few links. Here's a few links to some sources that are ones we recommend. And I'm going to share this slide right here really quick. And because the question is, well, how, should I even focus on organic search on my website anymore, right? What we found, Jack, was GPT and Google AI overviews are still using the Google rankings as a major factor in trust, because Google has done such a good job with their ranking algorithm to determine what websites are the most trustworthy, what websites have the most experience. The content shows that that company's experienced in solving that problem. What websites are the easiest to use, and all the things that we focus on here at Carrot to make it easy. So those are the same things GPT wants to look at. And so if you look at this Google search that I did in let's say the Roseburg, Oregon market for cash home buyers, you're going to see a handful of these websites at the top. There's one called Columbia Redevelopment, another one called Property Max, Grand House Buyers, Beckham Group. Half of those on that page are Carrot clients. Now let's go over to the same Google search, but one now that includes the Google AI overview on the top of it. So the first one I showed, just a normal Google search result. Second one I showed that the same day, a Google search result with the AI overview. You're going to see a lot of similarities there, right? You still see Columbia Redevelopment. You still see Property Max being mentioned in there. You still see the Beckham Group. So it's still pulling from the same things. But the cool thing is now you're going to see a couple new ones in there. Right in here, you see massed property development. That wasn't anywhere in the top 5 results organically. And so that's one of the things that we're starting to see, Jack, is even if someone's never ranked on page 1 in Google, we're seeing that if you make a couple of tweaks I'm going to show you guys today, you can actually get mentioned in GPT. So now let's go to GPT and look at the GPT results for the same type of search. Well, Columbia Redevelopment pops back up there again. Beckham Group, Property Max, Grand House Buyers, but now there's a couple new ones, Oregon Cash Home Buyers. So what I'm showing here is there is a lot of overlap between the normal, well-done organic search result and what a AI tool is currently showing, okay? So I'm going to show what we need to do now, right? So the first question that I'll usually look at, Jack, when I'm trying to go like, okay, I understand that there's a lot of overlap between kind of well-done Google search engine optimization SEO and what GPT and what the AI tools are showing. But now we need to ask the question like, great, so what do I need to change? What is Google looking at? What is ChatGPT actually looking at to determine where it ranks things, right? So this is some data that we pulled. And ChatGPT, their number one source that they look at, and I'm actually going to bring up real examples. We can bring up real examples online, Jack, even for your business if you wanted to. Just let me know. We can dive in and do an analysis on it live.
Sure, but why not? I mean, as I said, my SEO skills are really bad usually, but yeah. But who knows? I mean, I do know that if you search ChatGPT, like who has the best land coaching or something, my name comes up first, which is cool. Yep. But at least that at least came up. So hopefully it hasn't changed.
Yep. So I'm gonna type it live and we'll pop in here and see. So right there Jack Bosch. There it is. So it says there's no universally agreed best coach for land flipping, but the one standout is Jack Bosch from Land Profit Generator. And I'm going to point out, Jack, why this is the case. But then we're going to go to Google because look at this. Let's type in the exact same thing in Google because Google is where the majority of traffic still is landing. And then we're going to see what pops up here. And then I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you specific things you can do, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Okay. So I put who is the best land flipping coach. There's the thing here. Look at what this is doing. It's almost the same. It says there's no single best. That's the way that AI works. Is if you try to qualify something,
there is a single best, but we know that. But just
exactly. And it says the right choice depends on your learning style. But Jack Bosch, who's completed over 5,000 deals. So what we're seeing here is it had to recognize somewhere that it's seeing you as the authority. That it's seeing you as a person who's done a lot of deals. It pulled 5,000 from somewhere, right? And then it's got a couple other people here. Absolutely. And so when we start to go down here, there's some other notable people, but it's clear that Jack Bosch is the right one. But now let's look down here. What is showing up first? Reddit, YouTube, Bigger Pockets, and then it's the rest of the actual organic results. You're down here. There's a competitor. You were down here at some point. You're probably pushed down a little bit. So here's the deal that we need to look at. When we go back to my slides, what I'm going to show you is the old way.
In the actual searches, we don't come up high, but I guess we have been around forever, and we have a lot of material out there, which might matter, even though it doesn't come up on page 1.
Yeah, and I'll show you why it's coming up, and this is where it's really cool, and this is where it's a real opportunity for people. So the old way that search engines looked at rankings, like ranking a website. What I'm showing on the screen right now, but I'll verbalize it. The content on the website was number one, right? Like the high quality content, robust content, long content. Number two is the keywords. So keywords used in that content and up in the what's called the meta tag or the title tag. Those are still important, but keywords aren't really the major part of SEO anymore. I'll kind of walk you through what is. Then backlinks. So that's when everyone would buy all those crappy backlinks and buy them from Fiverr or whatever and just get a million back. That's not something that is working in the AI world, guys. And I'm going to show you guys what you do instead of buying those crappy backlinks. There's a whole bunch of other things. So what is working now for it is each one of these AI engines looks at different things to determine what resource it figures is the most trustworthy and credible for that question. So ChatGPT is going to pull from Wikipedia, number one. It's the number one most cited place that ChatGPT pulls from. Now, that's okay in our industry because most of us are not going to get a Wikipedia page, right? Your competitor is probably not going to get a Wikipedia page. So we probably don't have to worry about that. But if we're going after something that's a broad topic, if we're going after a how to do or a what is type of a question, Wikipedia is probably going to be a resource that has that answer. And that's why GPT pulls from it as a primary resource. The second thing it pulls from is Reddit. So as soon as AI overviews and as soon as GPT started to take off, Reddit's traffic, and I think I've got this somewhere on a slide in here, Reddit's traffic and Reddit's value, right here, Reddit's traffic and Reddit's value skyrocketed come middle of 2024. As soon as AI started to recognize, oh my gosh, we are trusting the resources when people go and ask questions and engage in a conversation in Reddit or Bigger Pockets or any of those, they really hold those to high regard and trust those conversations a lot. Okay. So Reddit's traffic and value skyrocketed because it's getting mentioned in all of these suggestions. Look at right here on the Google AI overview for who's the best land flipping coach. Reddit is number one, Reddit's number two, YouTube's number three, right? So let's go back to this slide. Let's go over to to Google AI overviews now. Okay. YouTube is the number one place that Google looks for their information. Reddit's number two and Quora is number three. And so when we want to start getting mentioned more in GPT or in Google AI overviews, which is soon to become Google AI mode, meaning I think within 12 months, the vast majority of searches will be default in AI mode and will not show the results below. It'll just be the AI overview summary with the links. That's within 12 months. And so when we look at it, we go, man, I should be creating YouTube content. That's something Jack does. We're doing it right now, right? In that YouTube content, we need to be saying our company name in them. In the YouTube content, we need to be saying and talking about experiences we're having in that thing. So, talking about the number of deals you flip, talking about actual transactions and actual deals, because Google can look into those transcripts and recognizes, oh, this is this Jack guy again. He keeps talking about all these deals. There's a bunch of these videos talking about land and land flipping and deals, and it's recent and it's fresh. He must be an authority on this because a lot of videos popping, right? And make sure that those videos are linking back to your website and make sure that you're saying your company name in your videos, okay? So it can read that. The next thing, Jack, and I'm gonna show you what you can actually do inside of GPT. It's pretty darn cool. The next thing is I would start engaging in or have someone on your team engage in Reddit. What we're finding, Jack, especially on the local marketing side, I'm saying like with real estate investors, land flippers, whoever's wanting to rank a website high. But now we'll talk about from your coaching business side of things, that you would be absolutely amazed at what conversations are happening inside of Reddit right now that you would have never guessed a conversation like that was happening in Reddit. When I was diving into to drive some innovation for the carrot side of things, helping our real estate investors get mentioned more and more in AI, I'm like, there's no way people are talking about local house flippers in Duluth on Reddit. There's no way. Dude, they are. They're talking about, I'm getting these letters from these people wanting to buy my houses. Are they trustworthy? Hey, I just got this discount offer from this real estate agent who makes guaranteed offers. How do I look at this? Hey, guys, what's the best way to actually sell my house without an agent? All those conversations are happening in Reddit. And the problem is, and the opportunity, if you're not engaging, or if someone doesn't like you and they make a negative comment on here about you or your service, those GPT and AI overviews are elevating that in importance heavily. They're going to go in We'll just do this live really quick right here, Jack. This can be kind of cool, or it can be kind of sucky. Let's see.
There's a couple
So
of complaints about us, but actually one of them I'm pretty darn sure, and there's only a couple of complaints, and one of them
yeah,
I'm pretty darn sure was actually posted by one of our competitors just to
dude.
discredit us, which is ridiculous. But anyway, people do this.
And that's the thing. We all get those, right? But that's the thing is when we're wanting to double down on this, reviews and staying up on those reviews and overwhelming with positive information is even more important, because these AI tools are trying to figure out what's the most trusted resource. Now, obviously, they've looked at your whole body of work, and both GPT and Google AI overviews overwhelmingly said Jack is the most trustworthy, right? So the whole body of work that they saw outweighs those couple that are like, obviously from what we're finding on Jack, those two are outliers. This is where he really is. So I'm gonna put this in, because what I would suggest everyone does is type in your company name with the word reviews at the end of it, and go look at every single one of these things that are popping up here. And what I would do is I would try to engage in any of these. So here's a Reddit thread on it. I'm not going to click in on it, but I would engage in that. Even if it's a wacky person who didn't execute the program, or it's a competitor, it doesn't matter, because Google and GPT are reading that information. So I would still engage in it. I would
Now, would
be
you
nice and
recommend you have some
cordial.
of your team members engage in that and then just drop in their name and the link and the thing, or would you engage yourself
Yes.
with your own name on it?
Yeah, I would do both, or recruit some customers and say, hey guys, this person's kind of off their rocker. Would anyone mind being able to go in there and just type in an answer on your experience? That's what I would do, because what it's going to do is most of the time Google and GPT, they trust what other people say about you more than what you say about yourself. And so they know that your own website's always going to say a lot of good things about you, right? Because we're all going to do that. So they're going to take some stock there, but then the next thing they're going to do is they're going to go, great, what are other people saying about them? And they're going to weigh that a little bit more. So if you can, I'd send some customers in there, or if it's if you're a real estate house flipping business or a land flipping business, and you have that one review that the person's disgruntled and they're kind of off their rocker, and it's an outlier, incentivize or send in 5 or 10 of your customers just to share their experience. That's going to completely overwhelm the negative, and you're going to see it change insanely fast in the iSearch result. We did a test on this a few weeks ago, Jack, where we were doing a competitor analysis page on our website, or a competitor analysis on our website. And the AI overview and the GPT answer was just not really giving the answer that we felt was the accurate answer about our product versus this competitor. And we go, man, so why is that? So let's go look at our comparison page. Let's go look at theirs. Let's go look at a couple other things. Their comparison page was far more robust. Most of their information was coming from their comparison page. So we said, okay, so let's make ours more robust. Let's make it bigger, but let's bring a unique selling proposition as the actual USP that we've got. Highlight that, put that at the top, mention it, bring some testimonials that support it. Within 2 weeks, the entire tune had changed in both GPT and Google AI overviews around these two products being compared. Carrot overwhelmingly was the recommended source, and it literally yanked the words that we used in the new unique selling proposition about Carrot building best of class tools for websites and CRM. It brought that right into the answer within 2 weeks, and we've seen some measurable results from it. So those are a couple things, recognizing what these AI tools were using to gauge their answers, doing what you're already doing, doubling down on video, making sure that someone's engaging in the Reddit threads, the Bigger Pockets threads, any of those kind of industry forums. That should just be a non-negotiable. Any business should be engaging those. Replying to reviews on Google Business Profile, if you have a Google Business Profile, within a day or two is important. Those are some of the biggies. Now, I'll give you a couple things, Jack, that are more kind of on-page things that are really important and valuable. And I'll show a couple things on the screen that people can do right now to help the on-page side of it. Okay, and then I'll toss over to you for any questions.
This is gold. So, this is great, because what you just shared is first of all fascinating. I had no idea that Reddit was ranked so high in the trustworthiness of these things, and that they kind of randomly chose Reddit for that, because there's other ones. I know one of the other ones had Quora listed, I come across
Mhm.
Quora all the time, but I find it kind of like cumbersome to use. So I don't even know because every time I want to use it, it tries to log me in and this and that. And it's like, I can't even just read stuff. At least on Reddit, I can
Yep.
just read it. It pops up. And so, but
Yep.
apparently Google uses Quora. And so we'll definitely
Yep.
pay attention to that. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. Google's using Core a lot. So those were a couple things. Now, the most important part with both of these GPT and Google AI overviews, it is still the website, right? So they both said it. There's other resources that are saying, hey, the anchor is still having a good, solid online home, because that's where you can really control all the information. Now, this this is going to get a little bit technical, Jack, but if there's people listening to this who have done any kind of basic research around SEO, some of it should make sense. But I'm just going to
Sure.
barely touch on this, and we'll go into very, very simple tactical stuff. So the old SEO, and this wasn't just when AI came in, the old SEO was all about keywords, right? So if you wanted to rank well for best land flipping coach in America, you'd literally put that at the top of your website and your H1, and it'd be in your title tag and all, and you put that type of keyword or similar keyword all over your content, right? Or if you're a land flipper and you're looking for someone that's looking to sell bare land, you might type something like sell my land in Oregon, or whatever it's going to be. And then if you have a website and you're in Oregon, you're looking to buy land in Oregon, you would probably put your title tag and stuff that would say sell my land in Oregon in some way, right?
Right.
So that's still not gone, but what things have shifted to is away from keywords per se, meaning all of those words in a row is important. It's moved more towards what's called entities. And here's what I mean by entities. So if someone is doing a search on the best land flipping coach in America, there's several parts of that search. Okay. So land flipping is an entity, right? It's probably two. It's land. What is the thing that they're trying to do? Well, it's land. It's raw land. So that's a word. And there's variations of land, raw land, bare land. There's probably other variations that are around that entity, that topic of land, right? House is another entity. If they wanted to flip houses, they would search how to flip a house, right? So then there's flipping. So it's not just buying land, but it's what am I doing with that land? Well, I'm flipping the land. Okay, so that's an entity. So there's other words around flipping that kind of mean the same thing. Land investing, land flipping, land prop, whatever it is. There's probably several words. And then there's coach. Okay, well, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a land flipping coach. So that word coach means I'm looking for somebody that can help me to learn this thing. So it could be a mentor, it could be a coach, it could be an influencer, it could be a YouTube channel, but it's all of those topics and words that might be around that topic of a coach, right? So as long as we understand the different parts of it, we want to make sure that we are researching what are the entities around that. So I'm just going to go back to GPT, and I'm just going to I'm going to type this in, Jack. I'm going to go, I'm a land flipping coach. Help me discover the SEO entities that I should target on my website to best optimize it for both AI search and Google search. So just ask GPT the darn question for the entities. It's going to give me a whole list of words. I just want to make sure these words are used on my content now. Okay. So there's land flipping, there's vacant land investing, contract assignment, seller financing, due diligence for land. It doesn't mean you got to use every one of these on your homepage, but you should start to use a lot of these. Real estate investors, beginner land flippers, coaching students, wholesalers, cash flow from land. So I'm going to go through and go, you know what? I don't have to use them all, but I'm going to start to use a good hunk of these. And I might create multiple pages now. Maybe there's a page for this type of topic. But this is Google and GPT basically saying, hey, these are the things that are around this subject. If you have content around these subjects, we're going to see you as more relevant. Okay. A next thing, Jack, that you want to put on everyone, any homepage you've got or any big, deep page, 100% of the time, put FAQs on them now. 100% of the time. FAQs at the bottom of pages is critical. I'm going to go to this one website. It's a Carrot website. It does really well in the Louisville market. We added an FAQ page to the bottom, or an FAQ to the bottom of it. And you can write things like common questions our clients ask or frequently asked questions. But you want to put your top 5 to 7 frequently asked questions on there, because those FAQs are what the search engines, the AI search engines, are oftentimes grabbing from. And they're going to show, hey, this person or this website has a lot of knowledge around this topic, and it's answering a lot of the common questions. And you can just literally go to GPT and type this, hey, help me make a powerful FAQ section for my homepage if I'm a land coach, land flipping coach. So it's going to give you some suggestions, and go literally write these FAQs. The first one is, what exactly is land flipping? How's land flipping different than house flipping or real estate wholesaling? Do I need a real estate license to flip land? How much money do I need to start flipping land? These are good questions, dude.
They are.
Right? So I would literally take these and put it at the bottom of your homepage or whatever page you want to rank. And I have FAQs on any page that's a page that I'm trying to rank that has robust information now. And I just go to GPT and ask it, this is what I'm doing. Help me make an FAQ page or FAQ section for this. And on Carrot, it's really easy to just drag and drop a whole FAQ section over. But that's one thing I would do to help optimize some of that content. That's a couple little tips, Jack, kind of staying high level that anybody can do, is recognize it's not just about these long keywords anymore. Because it's not sell my house fast Oakland anymore. Because in GPT, people are not going to ChatGPT to write sell my house fast in Oakland. They're going to type a full question. They're going to say, help me find a trustworthy cash home buyer in Oakland, California, or who is the most trusted cash home buyer in California? It's going to be a full question. And so then it's going to look through all of your stuff, all of the internet, to find, is this person trustworthy? Are they an expert on this thing? And on the website, we need to make sure that we're covering these few areas. We need to show that you're an expert. So this is a Google thing. What is your expertise? Show the expertise. Don't tell it. And I think that's one of the biggies on our websites now, Jack, is a lot of people say that they're an expert in something. Hey, I flip land. I can buy your land. In these situations, raw land, vacant land, developable land. Great. Don't just tell people that you can help them. Literally show them that you have done it for others. So you might say, I buy raw land in Philadelphia or whatever. Great. Go, for instance, we bought this 5-acre parcel just outside of town from this seller who was having this challenge. Here's a picture of the parcel. We were able to buy it, for cash in 10 days from the time that the seller reached out to us. Click this for the full case study. So the same thing on your land flipping. What are the different categories of the areas you help people flip land in? And then we go, yeah, great. Jack is an expert in these 5 things. But go, for instance, Sally, I worked with Sally, and she was a beginner. She'd never done any real estate investing at all. And she was able to go from blah, blah to blah and get her first deal done. Click this to see Sally's full case study, right? So always dive in and show the expertise. Show that you're an authority on the topic and show your experience in it. The last piece of the puzzle, Jack, then I'll finish here and toss over to you for questions, is on the trust side of things. Okay, it's the trust side of things. And one of the biggies trust-wise is that it wants to see, number one, that you've got reviews online. Okay, they want to see that you've got reviews online. They want to see that you're responding to your reviews active. This goes for any business, y'all. Okay. They want to see that you've got a really good about page. Your about page talks about your story. It links up your social profiles. It has a video on it, maybe. They want to see that there's that trust and credibility. And they want to see that if you have social profiles like on Facebook or LinkedIn, that the name of your business is the exact same on your website as it is on your Facebook page, as it is on your LinkedIn page. And it's the same phone number and it's the same address. And it's the same on your Google business profile.
So it was reviews, about page.
Yep.
What else?
Yep. A good solid about page, add a video on it, tell about your story, link up some of your social profiles on there. And then any of those social profiles or your Google business profile, make sure that that Google business profile matches the company name, address, phone number across all of your resources, your website, Google business profile, LinkedIn, whatever else you have. If those don't match, company name, phone number, and address, then Google starts to see them as, oh, shoot, is this the same company? Are they trustworthy? Are they not? And then they start to have an issue with it.
All right, that makes sense.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, there's
I'm listening. I'm like just like zip, like letting you talk because this is pure gold.
Yeah,
it's amazing stuff.
I'll give people one last tip that's crazy easy that's going to eliminate you having to go out and build a bunch of backlinks. Okay, so the way that people would get ranked in Google before is they go buy a bunch of backlinks, and it would work for a period of time, then it would go down. And I'll actually show you guys in the back end of a site what that looks like, because this is not what you want. So I'm going to show this here in a second once I log in. But backlinks are something that basically, according to Google, GPT really doesn't care about backlinks because they really are more caring about what information do they see online. But Google does care about backlinks. And at least for now, GPT cares about Google's organic rankings. Okay, so there is a reason still to get backlinks, which are essentially just other websites linking to your website, which is almost kind of like a vote of trust, right? It's a trustworthy website saying, hey, Jack is a good guy, and I'm going to link to Jack's thing, his website, because his stuff is good, right? And so what people would do, like I said, they'd go to Fiverr.com or whatever and buy a bunch of crappy backlinks because they didn't want to go do press and news stories and get mentioned in newspapers and all that. They didn't want to do the hard work. And so then something like this would happen, Jack. So I'm sharing on my screen. This is in the back end of the Carrot platform. We've got these SEO tools, and you can track your keywords and backlinks and authority score. So this particular guy has made millions of dollars off of his Carrot website flipping houses. But then he saw a big drop. Okay, he has thousands of backlinks. You do not need that many backlinks in a market like this. And you can see his traffic started to take a pretty good dip. It's leveled off here recently, which is good, but it took a real good dip. So let's look and see why it took a good dip. So we can go into this tool that we've got that tracks backlinks. And if I were to come in here, Jack, let's go look over 2-year time. You see how fast those backlinks climbed up there? Like it's a definite, Google's going to look at that and go, oh, geez, something happened there. And that doesn't look natural, right? They went and bought a bunch of backlinks. And then correlating with that is when that ranking drop started to happen because they went and bought a bunch of crappy backlinks. So what we're going to do instead is, if you're a local business especially, but this would work, Jack, for you as a land coach as well, is one of the backlinks that Google and GPT are actually trusting the most is your local chamber of commerce. Okay. So let's say someone's in, Medford, Oregon. I'm going to go here and go Medford, Oregon, Chamber of Commerce. And the thing is, most real estate investors kind of avoid these local clubs and things like that. But these are the things that GPT and Google recognize as, legitimate businesses join those. Like an illegitimate business is probably not going to join the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Most likely not.
So, yeah. So it might cost $200, $300, $400. There was this one up in Ohio that was a $500 membership to get the link. But what I suggest people do, if you're in a local market, like you're flipping houses in Medford or you're flipping land in Oregon or whatever, wherever you're focused on, whatever your home base is, go join the Chamber of Commerce, pay the $300, get a link on their website. And another thing that's actually working really good right now, Jack, is go find like a local charity or a local event or a local sports team, like a little league team, and go find some of those things that you just already resonate with that you want to support. You want to support the local little league team. You want to support that cool TEDx event at the local college. You want to support the whatever. Find 2 or 3 of those a year that you want to support and donate to them, like sponsor them, pay the $300, pay the $500, pay the $1,000 for the diamond level, and negotiate a backlink. Oftentimes they will include a backlink. And we were able to get a really good backlink for a client on a .edu website, which is an education website. Those are seen as very, very credible in Google's eyes because it's from a government website. because that client sponsored the local TEDx event. He paid $250 to sponsor it, but he got a link from that website to his. It was massive, and it really helped his Google ranking. So that's that last little piece, guys. I'll recap it here a bit and then toss it over to you, Jack. But the last little piece is go kind of tighten up a handful of those good quality backlinks that show that you're a reputable business. The Chamber of Commerce, sponsor a couple local community events that give you a link on their website, sponsor that Little League team that gives you a link on their website. And if all people did was do 3, 4, 5 of those a year, their local search website is going to get some really good results. For an influencer like you, it's probably you do that, but guest blog posting or getting mentioned in Forbes and things like that is probably going to be the equivalent for a national person like yourself. But I'll recap it and I'll toss it over to you. Number one, search has changed.
Things like I'm a sponsor of a local community center for the German community that's hosted by the German consul. That sounds like pretty legit, right?
Yeah, heck yeah, it is, man.
It's out there and seeing if I have a link on here, because I should have one.
Yeah, and you can negotiate that stuff with people, and there's all kinds of cool things you can do. But if I were to boil it down, like I said, number one, recognize search is changing. Number two, recognize that there's certain websites that that both GPT and Google are looking at. Right, they're looking at Reddit big time, so engage in those Reddit threads. Recognize there's all kinds of wild stuff going on in those Reddit threads you would never guess for hyper local businesses, right? And there's Reddit threads about your business, like someone needs to engage them, drive your customers over there. Get some YouTube videos cranking. That's Jack's already doing that. But if you're a land flipper, you're a house flipper, that client that I showed at the start of this, Jack, that had all those GPT leads and Google leads coming in, they have a Carrot website that has a lot of video content on it. So they'll list out all the situations they buy houses in, and then they'll do a whole series of videos on probate, buying, selling your house in probate in this city in Atlanta. And they've started to crush it. They're getting mentioned everywhere in the AI search engines now. And he's at his best year ever, 100% organic traffic, no external marketing. Dive into the website, look at that website, ask GPT, hey, this is my business. What are the entities I should use on there? And then just go make sure you're kind of using a lot of those words naturally into the content or making pages about some of them. And then get an FAQ page or an FAQ put up at the bottom of every one of those pages that answers the common questions. Ask GPT, it'll tell you what the content is. Then go get a couple good backlinks. And that's 70% of the
pages for that. Can you use ChatGPT to help you write those pages, or is ChatGPT judging you for using ChatGPT in the content generation?
Yeah, so you can use AI. The challenge I think a lot of people have with AI with their results is unless you train your AI really, really well, that it's not gonna help you meet the 4 things that Google wants, the EAT things: expertise, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So you can do it, but you've got to train GPT to say, hey, I want to write content that is unique and highly matching Google's EAT criteria, experience, expertise, authority, trust. Ask me any questions you need to ask me to get the information from me that you can then use in content to be able to help me match the EAT criteria. Okay. Yeah. So it might ask you all these questions.
Like I'm applying for my daughter. No, my daughter's applying to a bunch of colleges right now, and the colleges they're like, do not use AI. We're going to ding you. We're going to kick you out. We're going to run your stuff through AI generators. Obviously, we're not using AI at all in anything, but this is not the case here. As a matter of fact, so they don't ding you. As long as the content matches the different criteria, they're not going to ding you for using AI to actually write the stuff that AI that's going to read to come up with its searches.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing, because Google has actually came out and said, because that question has been asked a lot, is can you use AI on content and is it going to ding it? And Google has came out and said, no, AI itself, we don't care if you use AI content. What we care about is it being useful and unique. And so the challenge where people have with AI content is AI content will be accurate in its teaching, right? It's going to accurately say all these things. They're all facts that it's going to put out, very likely.
Mostly.
But what it doesn't do is it doesn't build your experience in. It doesn't build your stories in. It doesn't build your expertise in. It doesn't build your trust in. And so that's where we have to kind of train it. And I've done that on our end where we have, you want me to show you one last thing that's kind of wild that you can, okay. So this is something that is, and maybe you and I hop on one time and I just show you this and your team can build it.
We have trained our AI pretty well. So I can't wait to basically get back to my team to have them start create a bunch of these pages and a bunch of these entities and things like that right away. Because I think our AI is fed with, we even created an AI coach that our students can use that has been trained with thousands and thousands of hours of videos and audios and materials and documents.
There we go.
And everything. So I can simply just go pull up the coach and say like, hey, go give me the answer that and place provided transcribed that boom, right there is the page because it actually has all the information in it already.
Dude. So I love that. And so one thing that we've been doing at Carrot, and we're starting to figure out how can we do this for our clients, is I've got what I call a proof engine. And so with AI, being able to put proof into the content is really important. So proof could be a data point, it could be a customer story, it could be a case study. And those are some of the ways that it determines, oh, Jack isn't just talking about flipping land. He's done a lot of it because there's all this proof in here, right? And so we started to stack up all the proof into Google Sheets, onto documents. And now we have a process where the proof is automatically added from Slack every time an employee adds it to our thread of awesomeness in Slack. It gets added to this spreadsheet, and in that spreadsheet, once a week, the team goes into it, organizes things, makes notes. But now GPT has access to that growing knowledge of information, that growing knowledge of proof. And when we train it right with our content, and we say, hey, whenever we talk about something, always back it up with proof that's relevant to that thing. And here's how we do it with proof. It's either data or customer stories. And here's where you get those. When we're having it right, it can yank it directly from those sources that you guys are just building up all the time naturally of customer case studies, testimonies, and data. And so when it's writing the data, it's always going to add a real story, a real piece of data, a real thing to build that expertise. But one thing that we've started to do internal to Carrot is we have a ChatGPT business account, and I didn't really know how to use projects for the longest time. And maybe this is elementary, Jack, and you guys are way beyond this, but I'll just kind of share what has been awesome for us. Is you can create projects that multiple people on your team can interact with, right? That's not new. But what we started to do is get really, really advanced with the training of those projects. And so you can add all these files up here. And so this is getting advanced, y'all. So those that are listening to this, maybe hit pause here and come back when you're ready to it, or just listen to it so you know it's possible. But we went in here, and this whole project is something I call Carrot Labs. This is something that's going to help us drive the innovation engine further at Carrot. Better performance on websites, better performance on our split tests, being able to help turn those into content. And GPT helped us make this whole thing. And so we have training on it, right? What's the purpose and philosophy of this thing, of Carrot Labs, or if you're wanting to make a content marketing engine, right? What's the purpose of it? And then we start to have all these training documents that are deep, deep, deep expertise driven. And I'm talking like, these are insanely detailed, prescriptive, expert driven pieces of content on how to do split testing, on how we actually drive performance on websites in our CRM and all this stuff. We have master prompts in here that are insane, that are just like crazy, crazy detailed prompts that drive the whole thing. Here's the cool thing, Jack. We didn't make any of it. GPT made all of it. We said, here's what we want. Here's all of our data and training. Ask us any questions you need to ask us to be able to train this for you. We threw all that in there, like tons and tons of information and data. It made the files. Then we said, great, help us make the master prompts that do this and drive this. It made the master prompts. So now we can come in here, and as we're running website tests or website analyses, we can put a website in here. We can run an analysis. It pulls the data. It gives recommendations on exactly how to make it convert better, exactly how to make it rank higher, exactly how to do all that stuff. As we're using this tool, and I just want
your own Carrot coach.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Carrot coach in here that teaches you how to, like, hey, I'm having this challenge. What should I do next? It's going to teach you it. But then next, what we've got in here is we have our content engine. So when we tie in all of these systems into the content engine itself, and this is newer, so we don't have a lot of things for it to pull from. The content engine is trained on some of my more, viral-ish posts online, and some of the big ones that people I follow. And then we have a content matrix it made. So now anytime we want to come create content, we can say, hey, let's create the next Carrot Labs piece of content. It's going to literally pull from the testimonials. It's going to pull from the data. It's going to pull from all the website tests we've been doing recently. It's going to bam. It's a piece of content that's 100% EAT focus, expertise, experience, authority, and trust. And so the thing that we're going to be building these types of things into Carrot here pretty soon. But the thing that I would suggest anybody can do is anybody can come in here, no matter what your business is. And if I were you guys, I would create a ChatGPT project. I would call it my content or my marketing project. I would tell GPT, number one, the first thing I would say, help me make a brand voice guide and messaging guide for my business to use in my marketing. Ask me any questions you need to make that for me. And then I'm going to answer it all. Now it's got your brand voice guide. How do you want it to speak? What is your USP? What is your messaging? It's locked in. Put it in the training. Next, hey, help me make a content plan that achieves this goal using my brand voice guide. Ask me any questions you need. Bam, bam, put that into your training. And you're going to have 4, 5, 6 training documents up there that now anytime you want to go create content or anytime you want to make a webinar or whatever it is you want to do, it's fully trained on all that. You just have to ask it to help you, and bam, it's fully focused on bringing all of your unique information into that whole picture, which is really cool.
Love it.
Yep. We've done a version on that on Carrot. I'll just kind of show people really quick if there are any people using it. I would say it's more of a micro version, but we have an AI content writer in our platform. And to make the content unique for you, you would go into the settings part over here. And once you're in settings, it's taking a little bit long on my end. Once you're in settings, there's this big box that's going to pop up here. That's your business description. And we show you how to use GPT to help you make a really robust description of your company. I'm talking like everything, your background, your history, your best stories. It's going to make it really robust. That is the training document now for all of the content that ends up getting written with AI inside of the Carrot platform from then on. And it does the same thing with our automated lead manager. So two-way text message marketing back and forth with your sellers. It knows your voice. It knows your company history. Guys, use these tools. They're there. They're there. Not even with Carrot. They're everywhere. Just go use those tools out there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been using projects and multi-user projects and more. Recently, a while ago, I gave the directive to every one of our departments that every department needs to have their own AI assistant, first of all.
So there we go.
Each of them have to have a team member. They need to all feed their different things, their projects, processes, their philosophy, their things. I mean, obviously, there's an guiding corporate culture and philosophy, but each department has their own kind of things to feed it all in there and basically have that assistant be there, created to assist everyone in each department, and that has done really well. But I think there's another level of combining them all, which we haven't done yet, under one big project, and that everyone can have access to. I think that's the next thing with these large language models changing so much. It's going constantly. It's challenging because the moment you pick one, the next one outperforms it. But we have selected overall one that we want to use, and it's done well. It's a race right now. It changes faster than you really want it to change. Very cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just pick one, like you said. Everyone just pick a tool. We use GPT. A lot of people use Claude, but pick a tool. Double down on it. They're all going to do amazing for you for this season.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to what we had 2 years ago, they're all amazing.
Yep, for sure.
All right, man, that was fantastic. So I don't even know what questions I have. Like I love this. I think was like a quick masterclass on what to do today. So my summary here is, guys, for you, if you have a land business, so let's do that. Like we used it as an example of the land coach, of course, but if you have a land business, typically you're probably going to be operating in a certain geographical area. So Trevor gave you some really cool guidance there. So if you're mainly active in, I don't know, down in Texas, then go join one or a couple of chamber of commerces in those areas. If you're if you're nationwide, that might not make sense, or it might still make sense because just the reputation gain you get. Pick one where your headquarters is, and because people are still going to want to look that up, and it still looks good if you're part of the BBB or the Better Business Bureau or the Chamber of Commerce and so on, and then put those things into your everything that Travel said. And I think the key thing you said, not there's a lot of key things, but the key thing that makes it simple for people to do is that what we all forget is that you can actually ask GPT to write it for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? That's like everyone's like, okay, I've got to give it. So now I need 5 hours to write this. No, just pull up a couple of videos you already have, or upload the recording, or upload a document, or write a 20 bullet point thing. Is like use this as a basis and create this, or just ask it questions. Ask it to ask you a question to answer the question. You go to 10 questions and it has the answer. So this is how you create content very, very quickly and give it what it needs to create the good stuff for you.
Yep, exactly. And one thing I'll toss out, and we can wrap it up, Jack, is I blew through this, right? I blew through this, guys, and a lot of you guys are probably like, oh, what's happening? Just pick one thing to go do. Just pick one thing. What we're doing is, because this is a topic that can be overwhelming for a lot of people, I'm doing a challenge every month. We're actually doing the first one next week as of the time we're recording this, but we're going to do it for the next 3 to 6 months, because this is just going to be something people are going to need to focus on. You guys just go to carrot.com/challenge and grab it. It's $27. It's crazy low price. A couple hours for 3 days in a row. We're going to execute these things together. So I don't care. You don't have to be using Carrot to do it. I don't care what platform you're using. It's $27, three days, 2 hours each day. And we're going to help you get your AI visibility dialed in. So check it out, guys. And Jack, I appreciate you.
All right. Well, with that said, there we go. You already shared where people can get a hold of you. Do that. Carrot.com/challenge. Grab it, check it out, and there's good stuff. So with that said, thanks for being on the show, my friend.
Appreciate you. Hey, thank you.
See you soon again. And that's a wrap, guys. As always, give us that 5-star review, particularly in this episode. Share it with the world, because this was pure gold that was dropped right now. So I'm actually, I took I know you probably saw me sometimes. I took 6 pages worth of notes right now here. While we're on the session here, and I'm going to review that thing from beginning to end, probably 5 times, send it to all my team members, because we got to implement all of that ASAP. So with that said, thank you very much, guys. And thank you very much, Trevor.